Hello everyone, welcome to Sound of Hope News. I'm your host Wei Fang.
I'm Kathy Zhang.
Okay, we got 3 or 4 major issues, major topics for you to know. And the first is what is going on at the Maricopa County, right? With the audit going on, and it's literally a legal battle happening there. And what is happening? What's the most updates today? Okay, that's the first thing we need to let you know. The second is, as you may have read, Giuliani, Trump's personal attorney, Giuliani, his apartment in New York was raided at 6 o'clock this morning. And then, so what's going on around there? And the third one, Trump is first time and openly criticized the 3 justices that he sent into the Supreme Court. And so what's going on over there? And then it is sad, Trump said, as early as next month, Trump could restart his MAGA rally. And one state, he said he will for sure go. And what is that state? Stay tuned. All right.
So first of all, give you the update of the audit that is going on in Arizona, Maricopa County. So, since last Friday, things just get turned around and, have different, all the turns. And the most recent one happened today. So today, the new judge, Daniel Martin, had a hearing in the morning, and it's about over an hour and a half hearing. And first of all, give you the conclusion. Okay, so the purpose of today's hearing mainly two issues. The first issue is whether one of the audit company, Cyber Ninja, have to publicly disclose their policies and procedures of the audit. This is the first issue. Second issue is whether there will be an injunction, namely the temporary restraining order, basically to halt this audit. These 2 issues were requested by the Arizona Democratic Party in their newly issued lawsuit from last Thursday. So after the hearing, the Maricopa County Superior Judge Daniel Martin had a ruling. So for the first issue, he ruled against the Cyber Ninja's attempt to fire under sealed documents the company described as sensitive, because the judge said that the company did not present enough evidence showing that they have to be sealed, and this would override the public access to the information. So what he asked is for the councils to meet and try to reach an agreement as for how to proceed with it by 5 p.m. This evening, Pacific time. We don't know what happened, but he said if they cannot reach agreement, then he would ask them, each party, to submit a statement of positions. And then he will take a look at it tomorrow. So the deadline was by noon tomorrow. Then he said he will call them to discuss what are the other options remaining. And he said that he wants to expedite this process from using this method. So the second one is regarding the temporary restraining order. Judge Martin actually rejected this request. And he's saying that Arizona Democratic Party did not provide substantive evidence of any breaches or threatened breaches of voter privacy, because the plaintiff claiming that the procedures the auditors are using, would expose voters' privacy. And during this hearing, actually, the lawyer for Cyber Ninja, his name is Corey Langhofer, he just expressed his frustration when after he explained this process. He said it's just common sense. If you imagine, during the audit, what do? You have a bunch of ballots in front of you, and you take the ballots, and what do you see? right? Only the choices, right? There's no name of the voter, no address, even no signature, because they are being separated from the envelopes. So let's watch C2 how he expressed his view.
I will confess to being frustrated at having explained this probably 8 or 10 times since December in pleadings and hearings, and it keeps coming up. And I think it causes a lot of distress. People who think their votes will be exposed, the secrecy of the ballot will be exposed. It's not the case. I hope people appreciate that won't happen. It's never been part of the plan. It would be impossible to do. They couldn't do it if they wanted to, and they certainly don't want to.
Yeah. And in the middle, the upper one is the judge, Judge Daniel Martin. So, and it's interesting enough, even at the beginning of this hearing, the Democrats' lawyer, his last name is Wolf, he filed an emergency motion to delay the hearing today, claiming that he's not prepared to proceed. But this motion was denied.
Okay.
Yeah.
So President Trump gave a quick appraisal of the decision the judge made today about the injunction. President Trump, in his statement on the Telegram. By the way, let me let me remind you. So, do you know how to get President Trump's own statement? Do you know? I mean, if you don't know, do you want to know? And I just want to share with you because I just found it out today. Okay, if you install an app called the Telegram, okay, just search for Donald J. Trump, you're going to find one. And it has about 1 million people. So Trump released his statement through Telegram at this time. Or in the future, I hope he would do that through SafeChat, but that's out of the question at this point. Anyway, so let me just read Trump's statement here, and regarding the Maricopa County. He said, a big victory today in Arizona. A highly respected judge, I hope he would live up to that as time goes on. The judge has ruled that the forensic audit being done by the Arizona State Senate can and will continue. And Trump said over 100 Democrat lawyers were sent to fight against this audit. The result will be very interesting for the USA and the world to see. Why are the Democrats fighting so hard to hide the facts? I know why, and so does everyone else. Well, in another media interview with Don Bongino, right? Bongino, and Trump said this. Just hear him out here. Quote, the Democrats sent, I heard, 103 lawyers to try and stop it. If the election is honest, they are not going to be sending 103 lawyers. What do they have to hide? Trump said the Democrats should support investigation into the integrity of the elections they claim were free and fair. Trump said they should want it because it ends all this stuff about the election fraud. Make sense? Yeah, right. Democrats should want this audit as much as Republicans. I think they may need to want it even more than that, because they don't want to be questioned, right?
Yeah, and I heard one analyst was saying right now for the 2020 election result, half of the voters, half of the country don't believe the result, and they thought something was wrong. But 4 years ago, right after the 2016 election, and a lot of the voters, they didn't believe the result, and they didn't recognize Trump as their president. So then he said, why, since both sides had the doubts, and why don't we just find out the truth so that everybody can regain this trust into our system? So truly, for whether you're Democrat or Republican or independent, you wanted to just believing, have the trust of our election system. So it's a good it's a good move to just find the truth, and it's for the benefit of everyone.
Yeah, now let's move on to the breaking news of today. Giuliani's apartment in the upper Manhattan was raided today, this morning, early morning. But before we got there, let me just insert something here. At the back end of the YouTube channel, we received this message. It says, we recently fixed an issue where subscription counts were displaying incorrectly. You may notice this reflected in your analytics. The issues did not affect the experience of your new and existing subscriber. Oh, really? Okay, as you know that we see the number going down. We haven't been asking you to click likes for a while because we don't even know that it would make a difference. So we don't want to bother you with that. But it's a little surprised receiving this. I hope that indeed they fix the bug and everything. The YouTube account would have integrity too. We need integrity, right? So why don't we do a test of that? If you may, just please press likes and even for the subscription, unsubscribe and resubscribe. Let's see how that goes. With all our effort, with all the feedback, your feedback was just so heartwarming and so great. And we received a lot of positive feedback and commentary. In the meantime, we see the subscription keep dropping. So we know what's going on, just like President Trump said, we know what's going on, so is everybody else. But let's see whether they want to correct themselves, giving themselves some more credibility.
Yeah, benefit of the doubt.
And the Sony car, you said, Rumble platform. Yes, we'll be fixing that. We'll be uploading there too. And but in the meantime, please press likes. Thank you very much. Well, let's give them a chance to see whether they have any improvement and on the integrity of the analytics, YouTube analytics, plus the voting system in the state of Arizona. Okay, let's move on to the Giuliani raid. So, Kathy, what exactly went on today?
Okay, so according to Giuliani's lawyer, this morning, as early as 6 a.m. in New York, at Giuliani, the former New York mayor and President Trump's private lawyer, his apartment at the Manhattan West Side, Upper Manhattan, was raided by the FBI and the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District. And the investigators, they actually stayed there for almost 2 hours and confiscated mainly the electronic devices of Giuliani. And the one interesting thing is one thing they didn't want to take.
Yeah, let me tell you this story. This is a little episode that's very interesting. Giuliani said this, okay, he issued a statement actually after the raid. Apparently he was there when they broke in at 6 o'clock in the morning. Broke in or knock open in, I don't know. And Giuliani said the FBI steadfastly declined to take the hard drive that he offered them on several occasions. The hard drive contains all the information about Hunter Biden. Okay, Hunter Biden's thing. And then, so Giuliani, the statement said, keep in mind that the agents could not read the physical hard drives without plugging them in. But they took Mr. Giuliani's, this statement said, Mr. Giuliani's word that the hard drives were copies of the Hunter Biden's hard drive and did not contain anything pertaining to Mr. Giuliani. And so basically it's like this, okay. At Giuliani's apartment, there's a few hard drives. Giuliani, after seeing the FBI came in, besides, I think allow them to search, I'm sure they have a warrant, and Giuliani offered, take this few drive. It contained the information about Hunter Biden, which you should know. By the way, it does not have any information about us. On hearing that for several times, FBI didn't take it. They just trust his word. Since it contained none of your information and only Biden, we won't take it. But Giuliani's statement said if they don't plug it in, they don't know whether Giuliani said it's true or false, right? They chose to just believe him completely on this matter. So the statement said that the reliance on Mr. Giuliani's credibility tells you everything you need to know about this case. Apparently, they know Giuliani is honest and he has nothing to hide, but they really, really don't want to take Hunter Biden's drive.
Right. Yeah, that's something.
Gosh.
And the lawyers for Giuliani, he said that he believed this raid is unnecessary because Giuliani already agreed to cooperate with the investigation, except for the issues that's related to his client, which is former President Trump, because of the client privacy, right? So, they did this raid, and the lawyer believes that they just wanted to make an impression that Giuliani did something wrong. It's like a criminal. That reminds people, I think, of what Roger Stone experienced.
Yeah, what he went through.
Right.
And then back then, during the Trump's 4 years, we never heard that FBI or Justice Department raided in the early morning or late night of anybody who criticized Trump. Right, or that's enough, right? That there's an independent counsel in the Connecticut. That guy Trump is asking, is he still alive or something? They have enough reason to do the similar, scare type of search. They didn't do it, or Barr didn't do it, Ray didn't do it then, but they're doing now. So Ray's still there, right? I mean Christopher Ray, he's still there today, and then now he's allowing this to happen. It's just contrast for everybody to see, right? The contrast for everybody to see.
Yeah, in addition, actually, this search might, I don't know, Giuliani might expect it or might not, but since actually end of last year, according to New York Times or Wall Street Journal, the U.S. Attorney's Office in Manhattan, they already started to try to ask the DOJ that they wanted to have a search warrant of Giuliani's. First of all, it's the email and then the electronic device. But at that time, it's still Trump administration. So the DOJ did not, agree with that. So now, it's different administration, and it appears the Department of Justice just agree with that.
Okay, the next piece of news that we want to offer to you is about the justice. Okay, the justice on the Supreme Court. What is Trump saying about the justices that he sent to the Supreme Court? And and I think probably last night's interview with Dan Bongino, Trump said this about those justices.
It was aired today, yeah.
It's aired today, okay. He said this quote, okay, they did not come through on the election. All they had to do on the election is they had to hear the case, and they did not. They did not come through on the election, not even close to coming through. Trump went on and said it was a disgrace what they did. They punted. Trump continued to say the only changes can be made through. Okay, the only change can be made is through the state legislatures. But the next is not a quote, okay? This is the rough meaning I just conveyed it to you. Because of this COVID-19, the CCP virus matter, okay? All those states, they make up rules, circumvent legislature, did not go through legislature. They just created rules about the elections and get the election done. That's unconstitutional. So when people brought those cases to the Supreme Court with the 3 conservative judge, with 2 great conservative judge, I'm not even counting, the Roberts, right? And then it's not hard for them to take this case. But Trump said, the Supreme Court said, we are going to punt, because they did not want to make the tough decision. Trump said, quote, they had no courage on the election. They are gutless, and I'm very, very saddened by it, and so is the country. They did not want to take it on, and it was an issue so simple. Do you agree? The case is an issue so simple, but they didn't take it. And,
and we were discussing this question in the Chinese show previously, and just why these 3, conservative justice, and also they were appointed basically by Trump, right? So why they, have this, ruled as they are making those decisions as they do now, and so people, I'm sure besides Trump, a lot of people are disappointed. But why? So I have some of my takes, and one thing is I think it really because of the hard left's the pressure towards those justices, whether it's including when they were appointed, except for Gorsuch, his appointment seems to be more rather smooth. But the other two, Gorsuch and not Gorsuch, the Judge Kavanaugh and Barrett, they went through. We know what they went through. At the end, they took it, right? But those pressure indeed were very, very, so it was hard. It was hard. And then they had to, when they make decisions, it probably made them, remind them of what they went through, and also, the behavior of the corporate media and the riots, all those things. It was really, it's test. I think it's a big test for them. And also the other thing, actually, that's my own research on Barrett. Before she was confirmed, I did actually at that time we were only doing the Chinese language show, right? So I actually saw a video, a speech that she did. That's back in November 2016. Okay, that's 1 week before the 2016 election. It's very interesting. So her speech and the question and answer during that time is pretty revealing, actually. Now I think of it because we know she's the clerk for the most famous conservative justice. Right, but so she explained her experience working for the justice and explain how the conservative way of making those rulings. However, at that time, people also ask, if Hillary's elected as the president, what's going to happen with the Supreme Court, or if Trump was elected. So she did some analysis. One thing she predicted rather correctly is that she predicted that no matter which one win over the seat in the White House, he or she would have a chance to appoint at least 3 justices. So she said that right. But the other thing is, so she was asked to analyze what kind of a justice that Hillary or Trump will appoint. So she said, for Hillary, for sure, it's going to be more liberal justices she will appoint. And for Trump, then she had this type of a body language, okay? She said, who knows? Okay, so and then she went on saying that maybe a little bit more conservative, but who knows? So from the language, from how she answered the questions, and it appeared to me that she wasn't a Trump supporter at that time, at least. Of course, after 4 years of Trump administration, we didn't know how she changed or didn't change, and she was one of the candidates recommended to President Trump at that time. So eventually she was picked by Trump. So, so that's, I just thought it's interesting. I don't know if Trump's people or President Trump himself knew about the speech that he did and how she commented on Trump at that time. So.
Yeah, I have 2 observations. First, President Trump, he was a real estate, builder. He was a builder, right? He was in New York. He was a builder. Well, before he, won the, presidency, he doesn't know many, politicians, let alone, those judges or attorneys and so on and so forth, right? So basically, he was, his choices, justice choices, were recommended by other people to him, and he has to, just to make a quick decision, interview, and so my opinion is he just picked the wrong person. Okay, he picked the wrong person who just cannot shoulder the heat and being able to make the right decision. And those 3 judges, for sure, they're very, very knowledgeable. They're very, very knowledgeable. Okay, they got enough credential. They went through the heat of the Senate hearing and so on and so forth. But ultimately, in this kind of a situation, what we see is a how to say, is a war without without smoke, without gunpowder. Okay, and when we went through that the situation in China with the communism, in this kind of when you fight with communism, what is the most important weapon? morality. Morality is the most important weapon. Virtue and morality. Okay, with those one can stick with the truth and be fearless and do the right thing, and that's what we need. So it is these two things. First, apparently, in my opinion, is Trump picked the wrong person because whoever recommend them to Trump, they should be utterly ashamed of themselves. That's the first thing. The second thing is indeed what type of people we're looking for. We're not looking for the most qualified, legally qualified. I think there was the attorney, the judge Barrett. Barrett. She doesn't even have to take a note or look at the notes. She can answer any question, legal questions. Yes, she's a very, very good scholar, legal scholar, but she still may not be a good justice. Okay, I'm just let me just reading this a few quote from the book called 5,000 Years Leap, the 28 founding principles of our country. At the conclusion of the Revolutionary War, Samuel Adams, one of our founders, he said this. He said, "I thank God that I have lived to see my country independent and free. She may long enjoy her independence and freedom if she will. It depends on her virtue." Depends on her virtue. John Adams said this: "Our Constitution was made only for a moral and a religious people. It is wholly inadequate to the government of any other." All right. And Samuel Adams further said this. Hear me out. "The sum of all is, if we would most truly enjoy the gift of heaven, let us become a virtuous people. Then shall we both deserve and enjoy it. While on the other hand, if we are universally vicious and debauched in our manners, though the form of our Constitution carries the face of the most exalted freedom, we shall in reality be the most abject slaves." So I think we have the best Constitution written. We have the best the best designed infrastructure of our government, but it's still the people who will run the government and sitting on the Supreme Court, and we have to pick those people with the virtue and with the morality, and this kind of fight with the American version of communism, that's a must. One good thing actually now is with Trump now losing his presidency, whoever stay around him, they would only earn risk. They don't earn any, fame and profit. They will bear with the loss, accept the loss, and it's whether they can stick around. So Trump once said this: "One day I will lose everything for a while." This is the original quote. "I will lose everything for a while. Then I would know who is my true friend." I think that's actually that indeed is some truth. That's a true word.
And on the other hand, I think what's happening right now in the United States, in our country right now, I know a lot of people are saddened, are worried, but to some extent, maybe it's inevitable. Everything sometimes just happen for a reason. And I saw like John Flynn said, the faith and morality, and Judy said the integrity. It's a time to test. Maybe the values has to be tested at this time. It's just because it's an era that we know that communists and communism and the socialism, Marxism they have been trying to take over this country for a long time, longer than we thought. But to see the bright side. Yeah. Is that it's really testing those values, and it's opportunity for us to really pick up again those values, or just to try to retain those values, those justices. I won't try to question their own personal characters, but we only talk about what we are seeing, right? But we saw how rampant the communism and the Marxism and the leftists are, and then it's really up to us what to do, right? Actually, I think we can overcome it, because even though Chinese, in China, the communists, right, have been ruling for decades, but Chinese people or see through that, and they are really still, a lot of them are trying to make a difference. And I think in the end, it is, justice will prevail.
Yeah, will prevail.
Yeah.
And Twinkly, you wrote that long-standing morals, test of time, absolutely proves which direction we go. Yes, I cannot agree, more. And in certain sense, I feel that this is also testing of us. It is testing of those justices. It is a test of President Trump. It's a test of us. And when we stay here, it's a low time. Whether we would still, just retain our virtue, even grow our virtue, grow our morality, stay strong, and no matter what, how big the risk is, stay strong, do the things that we need to do. I think this is the growth of our people, the people in the United States, for us to grow, stronger, grow mature, and grow morally.
And then we become smarter, better, right? And our future will be better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on. And then, so actually, Trump said as early as next month, he's going to start his MAGA rallies. And one particular state he will be going will be Alaska. And why is that? Why?
Because the current representative there, Lisa Murkowski, Trump want to prime her out.
And Trump said, I endorsed 130 candidates in the last election. 128 of them won. So only two didn't.
And the other two he said is he did it out of loyalty. So
right. So basically he said, I'm going to take that senator out. And he said, I pretty much will do it. I will get it done. He will take that. Yeah, as you know, that senator cast a vote to impeach Trump and other things, so on and so forth. And so, actually, I was talking to my Chinese audience that we wish to be there, hopefully on every rally and report live, because chances are there will be only maybe 3 or 4 medias there. I think the lefty media won't be any interested there. And then, we will be there. Possibly NTD will be there, and OAN and Newsmax. I don't know. Hope they'll be there too. So we'll have a heck a lot of work to do, but we're looking forward to that.
Yeah, and also Trump was asked. He has been consistently asked whether he will be participating in the election in 2024, and he said. Actually, he's really seriously, more than seriously, thinking about that. But he said the best time to announce would be after next year's midterm election. Yeah. So. Okay.
So the next, the final one I want to bring to you actually is a continuation of our report on the Oscar, the award, Academy Award, right? I mean the rating dropped from the top of 57 million people to 9.9 million people. As I said last time, did I say it? I forgot. 1970, 43% of American household watched that ceremony of Academy Award, and then on Sunday night, 3%, less than 3%, 2.99% of people watched that. So there's a filmmaker. Her name is Amanda Milius. So I read her speech the other day. I just want to convey it to you. She expressed 3 points. She said, first, those Hollywood liberals, they just detached from reality. They just pick a topic, they try to lecture everybody else. They are far away from the reality. Okay, this is the first thing. The second thing, she said actually, since Hollywood has decided not to serve the people of America from all spectrum, somebody will. She said, this is great news for us. Money are on the table for us to take. Just for us to serve just half of the nation, we can get great market and get great success. The third, she said, the technology has become so cheap, we don't need the acceptance of the system. There's no gatekeeper anymore, and we're able to make this happen. So this is pretty much true with this is true with Hollywood. This is true for social media, for Safe Chat, for our we started audio platform, the Chinese audio platform. Then we'll be turn that into English one. So with everything this is a still free economy. Okay, and American is people is innovative people, and so are our team. So we're going to innovate a lot of things and then take the platform back. And yeah, so this is what Amanda, Milius, her word. And I share with you the other example, right? The Kevin Sorbo, right? Sorbers invested $2 million to produce this movie called God is Not Dead. The ticket box is 140 million. And then Mel Gibson, another conservative movie star, Mel Gibson put in $30 million into a movie called The Passion of the Christ. $600 million were made. So who's going to finally make the money? Who's going to go bankrupt? We'll see, right?
Yeah, so actually, like we shared with you before, we have votes, right? We have the ballots. We have the second vote is, the wallet, your remote control, your eyeball. And so really, I just remember receiving an email from one of our viewers. He actually is, he said, I'm a proud supporter of through the donor box. So yeah, really appreciate it. I don't have the email right now. Otherwise I would name him. But he also said he would like us to just bring more hope.
Okay.
Yeah, to people. And today I saw a lot of comments saying that we are bringing some hope. So really glad to hear that.
Okay, yeah, please press likes and making sure subscribe. And because YouTube wrote to us saying that they made a mistake, they want to correct that. I hope they do, and we want to test their integrity. And also another reason of why you need to press likes is because I'm going to tell the jokes.
All right.
Mind you, I said jokes, right? There are 2 jokes. And see whether you can bear with us, okay, whether you like it. The first one, we talked to you about this attorney thing, right? This lawyer joke, right?
Yeah.
So my father is, the kid said, my father is a liar, and he's a thief,
a murderer.
And a murderer, and so on. And the teacher visited, the office. The dad said, I'm an attorney. How can I explain that to a 6-year-old, right? Actually, you know what? One staff in our back room in the studio, and on hearing that, before I say the punchline, she thought the father would say, "I'm a communist." How do I explain that to my kids?
Yeah, we thought that was a good one.
Yeah, she truly thought so, okay.
Yeah, because she was trying to figure out the punchline, and she was saying, "Oh, is he a communist?"
Actually, I think that punchline is even better. It's better than the original design.
More accurate.
Now, let me tell you something that I share with my Chinese audience. In the Silicon Valley, there's a radio called the KSQQ, right? And it's covered the Silicon Valley. It's the only Chinese radio on air, and we broadcast at traffic time. So pretty much we own all the Chinese people who drive to and from work. Now there are less people driving, but still is because we're the only choice. So a lot of people listening to us, we talk about American value and the Constitution and so on and so forth, on that in that radio. It's a very powerful radio. A lot of people love us. Okay, so I told this story to pretty much our audience. Okay, so all Chinese people in Silicon Valley presumably know about the next joke I want to tell you. So it has to do with the story of Jimmy. Every Chinese American in Silicon Valley know Jimmy because we talk about on radio.
That's right.
Jimmy is my neighbor. Okay, so it was a story of 6 years ago. I used to live in South Bay or Silicon Valley. Then I need to commute to San Francisco to work here, right? So I have to drive. It's a 45 minutes drive, and then my neighbor, he did not drive. He always ride a donkey. He ride a donkey
from Silicon Valley to San Francisco. Okay.
I was saying that this is 50 miles. Are you kidding me? You're riding a donkey. It took me 45 minutes to arrive there. It probably will take you 4 to 5 hours. So every time I just told him, Jimmy, what's going on there? Why do you ride a donkey to San Francisco? He said, no, it's fine. It just works just fine. Work as well as your car. I said, no, it doesn't make sense. How about this, Jimmy? How about this? I give you a ride. I can give you a ride back home, so you don't have to ride your donkey. It's just crazy. Don't do it. And Jimmy thought it over. He said, okay, I take your offer. I take your ride. So I have Jimmy hop in the car. I start to drive, get on the highway. And then Jimmy said, I need to bring my donkey. I said, what? I give you a ride. Understand that? I give you a ride.
Yeah.
He said, it's okay. And my donkey will still follow me because during lunchtime, I may need to go out to get something.
Oh, run an errand. Okay.
I said, Jimmy, I'm driving a car on a highway. How can your donkey follow my car? Jimmy said, don't worry, he will follow. It's okay. Just get onto it. Really? Okay, all right. So I drove the car on the highway. You know, the donkey was following the car, believe it or not. And so I was a little careful. I was ramping up, right? 30 miles. I dare not to drive too fast because I may lost the donkey. So I just look at the back mirror. The donkey was was following my car. So wow, 30 miles can follow. It's a pretty fast donkey. So I step on the gas a little bit. 45 miles. The donkey was keep following me. And I said, wow, 45 miles can do that. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
This is a super fast donkey. So I step on the gas some more. I reach 50 miles. I look back. The donkey was closely following my car.
Wow, still there.
I was on the highway. I decided to really give this donkey a test. I step on the gas, the 60 miles. And I look at the back mirror. The donkey was still following me. I said, wow, what kind of donkey is this?
Yeah.
So I just reached the speed limit, 65 miles. The donkey is still following me. And I add some more speed, 70 miles, 75 miles. The donkey is still following me. Can you believe this? I start to lose my mind. What kind of donkey is this?
Yeah.
I got this mentality of competitiveness. I was like that. Then I step on the gas. I was running 85 miles.
Gosh.
I look back and I expect the donkey would disappear. Donkey was still still following me. Gosh, I forgot all about the police. I really got mad about this. I step on the gas and I'm going 95 miles. And I then look back. You know what happened to the donkey?
What happened?
The donkey was doing this. His tongue stick out to the, stick out of the mouth. I think the donkey was losing it.
Yeah.
Okay, he's breaking down. So I told Jimmy, your donkey has some problem. So Jimmy looked back and said, his tongue's out. So which side is out? So what do you mean, which side? On the left? So Jimmy said, be careful. He's preparing to overtake you.
Trying to pass.
Now, you, just like every Chinese American in Silicon Valley, know my neighbor Jimmy and his donkey story. All right, it's a long one. I hope you like it. Okay, that's all for today. Hope you have a great night.
Yeah, and by the way, I saw Louis was saying, still waiting on your ball caps and the T-shirts. I'm thinking, yeah, it's being suggested that we should have some, ball caps or T-shirts with our logo. So, yeah, we haven't been having the time.
We'll catch up.
We'll catch up with that. And
Thank you for staying with us.
At that time, you will support us.
Yeah, thank you for staying with us. Please press likes. We'll see how that goes. We'll see how much integrity the system that in front of us has. Okay.
Yeah, really appreciate it. You've been great.
Let's stay together and let's bring back our country, and we will. Thank you. Take care.
All right, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.